Welcome to my channel, and today I thought I'd tackle something that's a little bit controversial, and that's asking non-leading questions in cross-examination. So we are told that we should only ask leading questions in cross-examination and that we should avoid non-leading questions. That's what we're generally told. That's the mantra. Lead, don't ask. And so there is understandable fear around asking non-leading questions, because if you ask non-leading questions, a number of negative things could happen as a consequence of not having control of the witness that you're cross-examining. So one of the things that could happen is that the witness could say something unexpected, and that unexpected answer could have a detrimental impact on your case, on your client's case. The other problem is that if you ask non-leading questions, because you lack control, the witness could say something that could actually enhance your opponent's case. And so there's a degree of uncertainty when you're asking those non-leading questions. You really don't know what the witness is going to say. And so that's the reason why we've been taught, don't ask non-leading questions in cross-examination. I remember inviting a very senior lawyer to come to a training event and to take part in a discussion about cross-examination techniques. This event was at bar school, and this person was going to come and just have this general discussion about cross-examination techniques with members of my team. And during the discussion, this very senior, very well-respected advocate said that you should never, ever ask a non-leading question in cross-examination. And I was really shocked when I heard this, because I know that there are circumstances when you have to ask non-leading questions. But this advocate would not be swayed from her view. She was absolutely adamant that there was no room for non-leading questions in cross-examination. And that was her view, and she was not going to be swayed from that view. And in my early days at the bar, I also believed this. I subscribed to the mantra, lead, don't ask. And I see it with my coaching clients. They will only ask leading questions. But I want to give you permission to ask non-leading questions in cross-examination. Why? Because there are certain circumstances where you have to ask non-leading questions. So let me give you an example. A prosecution witness has given evidence in examination in chief, direct examination, that she saw the defendant pick up a bottle, a glass bottle, and smash it over the head of a victim. That was her evidence. She also said in examination in chief that she had been drinking that night. But she didn't specify what she'd been drinking. She didn't specify the strength. She didn't specify how many drinks she'd consumed prior to seeing this incident. And she didn't specify whether or not she'd consumed any food prior to seeing this incident and whilst drinking. So in cross-examination, you have this hunch. You have this hunch that this witness was not sober when she saw the incident, and therefore her cognitive abilities were affected by her consumption of alcohol. That's your hunch. So if you suggested to the witness you were drunk when you observed this incident, the witness might say, no, I wasn't. I'd only consumed 1 pint of, no, not 1 pint, one glass of wine. I'm stumbling because I don't drink, so I can't even visualize this. So the witness might say, I'd consumed only 1 glass of wine. I wasn't drunk at all. Now, as the advocate, if you receive that answer, you have nowhere to go. You're going to look really ridiculous. And so you'll just have to move on. what I suggest you do in this situation is to ask the witness some non-leading questions to establish the facts in relation to her alcohol consumption. So you would say, for example, you told the court that you had consumed some alcohol. I'd like to ask you some questions about that. What type of alcohol did you consume? How many glasses did you consume? Now, if she says lager or beer, then you have to establish whether it was a pint glass or a half pint glass, whatever. Then you would have to ask about the strength of the alcohol. So, for example, if the witness said that she had consumed 5 margaritas, well, we know that margaritas have an alcohol content of between, I think it's between, oh, I have to look at my notes, between 27 and 33% alcohol. So they're strong drinks. And so if she says to you, I had consumed 5 margaritas, well, my God, she'd be stinking drunk, wouldn't she? So her cognitive abilities would definitely have been impacted when she observed the incident. And so what you would then be able to do is to suggest to her that when she observed the incident, she was not entirely sober. And you could in fact go further. You were tipsy. And if you wanted, you could go further. You were drunk. But you can only do that if you establish the foundational facts. Now you might be thinking, well, what if she says, I only consumed 1 glass of wine? So it's quite clear that she wasn't drunk when she observed the incident. It doesn't matter. All you're doing by asking those questions is establishing her reliability as a witness. So it doesn't matter if she's not drunk when she observed the incident, because whether or not she was drunk isn't an issue in the case. It doesn't go to the heart of whether or not the defendant is guilty. And so I guess I'm saying when you're deciding to ask non-leading questions, you're doing so on collateral matters. You're asking questions about matters that do not go to the heart of the issues in the case. And therefore, what the witness says isn't going to harm your case one way or another. You're simply testing the witness's reliability on a collateral issue. So, in conclusion, I am giving you permission to ask non-leading questions when you're cross-examining a witness on collateral matters. So you have to be strategic. There is no blanket rule that you must only ask leading questions in cross-examination. I hope you found this video useful. I'll see you in the next one.